Many seniors remember the familiar moment at a doctor's visit. A blood pressure cuff tightens around the arm, the machine beeps, and the doctor glances at the screen. Then comes the reassuring phrase, "Your blood pressure looks normal." For many people, that moment brings relief. It feels like confirmation that everything inside the body is working as it should. But according to cardiology research, that single reading often tells only part of the story. Blood pressure measurements taken in a clinic represent a snapshot taken at one moment in time. They do not directly measure inflammation in blood vessels, arterial stiffness, or metabolic changes that may gradually influence cardiovascular health. In other words, the body can sometimes be sending subtle signals long before symptoms appear. These changes often develop quietly, especially after the age of 60. Experts emphasize that a normal reading is useful and encouraging, but it should be viewed as one piece of a much larger health picture. Lifestyle habits, sleep patterns, metabolic health, and vascular flexibility all play important roles. Understanding this broader picture can help seniors make informed choices about protecting their long-term heart and circulation health. To understand why a normal number can sometimes be misleading, it helps to look at what blood pressure readings actually measure. When a cuff inflates around your arm, it records the pressure inside the arteries at that moment. The first number, called systolic pressure, reflects the force of blood when the heart pumps. The second number, diastolic pressure, reflects the pressure when the heart relaxes between beats. These numbers are important because long-term high pressure can place stress on the heart and blood vessels. However, according to clinical cardiology reports, the measurement itself does not directly show the condition of the arteries. Two individuals may record the exact same reading, yet their vascular health may be very different. One person may have flexible, healthy arteries. Another may already have early arterial stiffness or metabolic inflammation. Blood pressure readings are therefore best understood as indicators of risk, not a complete diagnosis. Doctors use them to estimate how the cardiovascular system may be performing, but the numbers alone cannot reveal everything happening inside the body. This is why physicians often evaluate other factors, such as cholesterol patterns, blood sugar, weight distribution, and lifestyle habits, to build a clearer picture of cardiovascular health. After the age of 60, the body naturally undergoes changes that affect the cardiovascular system. One of the most important changes occurs in the arterial walls. Healthy arteries are flexible. They expand and contract easily with each heartbeat, helping blood move smoothly through the body. Over time, however, microscopic changes gradually occur in the lining of the blood vessels. According to vascular research, the inner layer of arteries, called the endothelium, can slowly lose some of its ability to regulate blood flow. Inflammation, oxidative stress, and metabolic factors may contribute to this process. As arteries become less flexible, the heart must push blood through vessels that are slightly stiffer than before. Even when blood pressure readings remain within the normal range, this gradual stiffening can still influence cardiovascular health. Importantly, these changes often develop without noticeable symptoms. Many people feel completely well, while these structural changes slowly progress. This is one reason why doctors emphasize monitoring overall metabolic health and lifestyle habits, not just individual measurements. In the next section, we will explore another important factor: how the kidneys help regulate blood pressure and why this system can change with age. Another important organ involved in blood pressure control is the kidney. While the heart pumps blood, the kidneys play a critical role in regulating the volume of fluid and sodium in the bloodstream. In a healthy system, the kidneys constantly filter the blood. When blood pressure rises, the kidneys respond by releasing more sodium and water into the urine. As excess fluid leaves the body, blood volume decreases and pressure inside the arteries gradually returns to normal. However, according to clinical reports, kidney function can change slowly with age. After the age of 60, the filtering units inside the kidneys, called nephrons, may become less efficient than they were earlier in life. When this happens, the body may hold onto sodium and water slightly longer than before. Even small shifts in fluid balance can influence blood pressure over time. This does not mean that kidney disease is always present. In many cases, it simply reflects the natural aging of organs that have been working continuously for decades. Because of this connection, doctors often monitor kidney markers during routine health checks, especially for adults managing blood pressure. In the next section, we will look at another organ that quietly influences blood pressure regulation, the pancreas and metabolic hormones. Another organ that quietly affects blood pressure is the pancreas, mainly through a hormone called insulin. Most people associate insulin with blood sugar and diabetes, but according to metabolic research, insulin also influences how the kidneys and blood vessels behave. When insulin levels rise temporarily after a meal, this is normal. The hormone helps move glucose from the bloodstream into the cells for energy. However, when insulin remains chronically elevated, which can occur with insulin resistance, the body begins responding differently. Studies suggest that high insulin levels may signal the kidneys to retain more sodium. As sodium stays in the body, water follows it into the bloodstream, increasing blood volume. This process can gradually influence blood pressure. At the same time, elevated insulin may also affect the tone of blood vessels, making them slightly more constricted than they would otherwise be. For seniors, this connection is important because insulin resistance becomes more common with age. Even individuals who appear healthy can develop mild metabolic changes over time. Understanding how metabolic health interacts with blood pressure helps explain why doctors increasingly focus on diet, physical activity, and blood sugar balance when evaluating cardiovascular risk. One of the most common misconceptions about blood pressure is believing that a normal reading means everything is fully under control. Many seniors monitor their numbers regularly, which is an excellent habit. However, according to cardiovascular specialists, focusing only on the measurement without considering lifestyle and metabolic health can create a false sense of security. Blood pressure is influenced by many factors, including sleep quality, body composition, stress levels, and metabolic balance. Two individuals may have the same reading, yet their long-term cardiovascular risk may differ depending on these underlying conditions. For example, someone who maintains a healthy weight, exercises regularly, and sleeps well often supports their cardiovascular system in multiple ways. Another person might reach the same number with medication, while still experiencing metabolic stress from poor sleep or inactivity. Medication can be extremely valuable when prescribed, but experts emphasize that numbers alone do not tell the entire story of vascular health. Understanding this helps shift the focus from chasing a single number toward improving the broader conditions that influence cardiovascular well-being. In the next section, we will look at another common habit that can quietly influence blood pressure after age 60. Another habit that can quietly influence blood pressure is long periods of sitting or limited daily movement. Many seniors believe that as long as they exercise occasionally, their circulation is well supported. However, according to studies on cardiovascular aging, the body responds best not only to exercise sessions, but also to frequent movement throughout the day. When a person sits for extended periods, blood flow in the legs slows and the muscles remain inactive. Muscles normally help push blood back toward the heart, acting almost like a secondary pump in the circulatory system. Without this assistance, circulation becomes less efficient, and the blood vessels may gradually lose some flexibility over time. Regular movement, such as walking, stretching, light gardening, or household activities, keeps the circulatory system engaged. These gentle movements support vascular elasticity and metabolic balance. For adults over 60, the goal is not intense workouts but consistent activity across the day. Even small breaks from sitting can make a difference for circulation and overall cardiovascular health. In the next section, we will examine another common habit that may influence blood pressure: diet patterns that appear healthy but may still affect metabolism. Another common habit that affects blood pressure is unnoticed sugar intake, especially from foods that appear healthy. Many products marketed as low-fat, diet, or heart-friendly often replace fat with refined carbohydrates or added sugars. These ingredients can quickly raise blood glucose levels, particularly in older adults whose metabolism has slowed. According to metabolic health research, frequent spikes in blood sugar lead to repeated increases in insulin levels. As discussed earlier, insulin influences how the kidneys handle sodium and water. Over time, this hormonal effect may contribute to higher blood pressure. Sweetened beverages, flavored yogurts, breakfast cereals, and many packaged snacks are common examples where sugar intake can accumulate without people realizing it. For seniors, this does not mean all carbohydrates should be avoided. Instead, experts suggest focusing on whole, minimally processed foods such as vegetables, legumes, whole grains, and fresh fruit. These foods provide fiber and nutrients that help stabilize blood sugar and support healthier metabolic balance. In the next section, we will look at another overlooked factor that influences blood pressure: sleep quality and daily stress patterns. Another factor that quietly influences blood pressure is the quality of sleep and long-term stress levels. The body regulates blood pressure through the nervous system. During restful sleep, the parasympathetic nervous system becomes more active. Heart rate slows, blood vessels relax, and blood pressure naturally drops overnight. According to clinical sleep research, this nighttime drop, sometimes called nocturnal dipping, is important for cardiovascular recovery. However, when sleep is frequently interrupted or shortened, the body may remain in a more alert state. Stress hormones such as cortisol and adrenaline stay elevated longer than they should. Over time, this can keep blood vessels slightly more constricted and increase strain on the cardiovascular system. Many seniors experience sleep disturbances due to irregular schedules, stress, or conditions such as sleep apnea. Because sleep affects both metabolic health and nervous system balance, doctors increasingly consider it a key factor in long-term blood pressure management. Improving sleep habits, such as maintaining a consistent bedtime, reducing evening screen exposure, and creating a calm nighttime routine, can support healthier blood pressure patterns. In the final section, we will summarize practical strategies that seniors can use to support cardiovascular health in everyday life. Understanding blood pressure is not about worrying over a single number. It is about looking at the full picture of cardiovascular health. According to experts in preventive cardiology, small daily habits can influence blood pressure and vascular health over time. First, focus on balanced nutrition. Meals built around vegetables, legumes, Whole grains, nuts, and healthy proteins provide important minerals such as potassium and magnesium that support blood vessel function. Second, maintain consistent physical activity. Walking for 20 to 30 minutes most days of the week, along with light movement during the day, helps improve circulation and metabolic balance. Third, pay attention to sleep and stress management. Regular sleep patterns allow the cardiovascular system to recover overnight. Finally, keep regular medical checkups and discuss any concerns openly with your healthcare provider. Monitoring trends in blood pressure, rather than relying on a single reading, can give a more accurate picture of long-term health. If you found today's information helpful, consider sharing it with a family member or friend who may also benefit from understanding these changes after age 60. Healthy aging is often built on many small choices repeated every day.